Hello and welcome back! Today we're doing puzzle number 40 in the Fiendish Logic Puzzle book from Puzzle Baron and Stephen P. Ryder. This one's called Senate Race. We have 7 different candidates who received 7 different numbers of votes in increments of 500, who are from 7 different hometowns and work at 7 different professions. So let's jump right in. The politician with 10,000 votes was either the Unionville native or Fred Francis. So Fred Francis is not Unionville. Jed Jarvis finished with 1,500 votes ahead of Kelly Kirby, who wasn't a writer or an architect. So Kelly Kirby, not a writer, not an architect. And Jed Jarvis is 1,500 votes, that's 3 increments above her. So if Kelly Kirby was dead last, then the least Jed Jarvis could have gotten is 1,500 more than that, which is 10,000. And if Jed Jarvis won, the most Kelly Kirby could have gotten is also 10,000. So let's keep that question in the back of our mind. Who won the election? We'll find that out. You know what? I'm going to jump ahead a little bit, because we just had a clue with Fred Francis and one with Jed Jarvis. And now I see clue number 7 says either Fred Francis or Jed Jarvis finished with 9,000 votes. Jed Jarvis couldn't have gotten 9,000 votes. He has to be 1,500 more than Kelly Kirby. So therefore, the 9,000 votes is Fred Francis. And that means he's not the 10,000 votes. That's Unionville. Great. Okay, so Unionville is 10,000. Jed Jarvis is not 9,000. Fred Francis is 9,000. And that means Kelly Kirby can't be 9,000. So Jed Jarvis can't be 1,500 more than that, which would be 1,050. We're off to a great start. Okay, clue number 3. The Coalinga native finished 500 votes ahead of the person from Glendale. So great, same category, 1 increment. So Coalinga is 500 ahead of Glendale. The state is Wyoming, by the way. It doesn't matter. It's not a real election. Okay, so Coalinga can't be 10,000, so Glendale can't be 9,500. And Glendale can't be 10,000, so Coalinga can't be 10,500. And then Glendale can't be the most. The Indian Wells candidate received fewer votes than the person from Mountain Mesa who wasn't the architect. So Mountain Mesa is not the architect. Indian Wells is fewer votes than Mountain Mesa. So Indian Wells isn't the most, and Mountain Mesa isn't the least. The Olema native finished 1,000 votes behind Al Allen, who received fewer votes than the rancher who wasn't Gilda Gray. All right, a lot of information. First off, Gilda Gray is not the rancher. Okay, so Al Allen received fewer votes than the rancher. So Al Allen isn't the rancher either. And Al Allen can't be the most. The rancher can't be the least. Okay, now the Olema native, who also can't be the rancher because he's behind Al Allen, or she, is 1,000 less than Al. So, where is it? Olema, right here. Okay, so 1,000 less. So if Al Allen had the most, then the most Olema could be is 1,000 less than that, Unfortunately, we know Al Allen can't be the most. It has to be less than the rancher. And Olema can't be 10,000, so Al Allen can't be 11,000. And Al Allen can't be the least because it has to be 1,000 more. Okay. And the rancher just has to be more than Al Allen. So and there. That should be it for now. Okay, great. Now we have a list clue, and it's a complete list, I think. Great. So, the 7 candidates were Fred Francis, Ed Ewing, the lawyer, the 3 from Coalinga, Indian Wells, and Olema, and the person who received 1,000 votes. Okay, so Ed Ewing and Fred Francis can't be 1,000. 9,000 is Fred Francis, so that can't be the lawyer. Can't be Indian Wells, Olema, same for 1,000. Indian Wells, Olema. Okay. Okay, Fred Francis. Lawyer. And same for Ed Ewing. Okay, let's go. Now Olema can't be 9,000 because that's Fred Francis. So that means Ed Allen can't be 1,000 more than that, so Ed Allen can't be 10,000. This also should tell us that, am I correct? Yes. I believe we're now at a point where 9,500 must either be Olema or Al Allen, because it's 1,000 votes apart. Yes. So Olema could be here, and Al Allen could be 9,500, or Al Allen could be here, and Olema could be 9,500, but the only other option would be that Olema is here and Al Allen is there, in which case they wouldn't be 1,000 apart. So only Al Allen or Olema can be the 9,500. Now they're in different categories, but we just had a lot of different things and, professions, people eliminated as being Olema. So let's see, and Ed Ewing can't be 9,500, has to either be Al Allen or Olema, and he can't be Olema. And the lawyer can't, and neither can Indian Wells. Coalinga, I don't think that could be it either. Wait, no, not Indian Wells. No, because I guess Al Allen could still be that, just not Olema. Okay. 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 The Indian Wells native was either the academic or the candidate with the most votes. So the academic didn't get the most votes. Sorry, fella. Oh, and Indian Wells did not get the most votes because the Indian Wells got fewer votes than Mountain Mesa, so obviously it couldn't have gotten the most. Therefore, the Indian Wells is the academic. Indian Wells. There we go. That means the academic is on the list. Okay. We have a lot to work with here. This puzzle's going quite smoothly, I say, jinxing myself. Good. Right, and now the academic is Indian Wells. I guess technically it could still be Al Allen, so we can't eliminate that. All right. The academic, who again is the Indian Wells, received more votes than the Ryder. So I guess at this point all that tells us is that it can't have the least amount of votes because it has to be at least more than the Ryder. And the Ryder can have the most votes. In fact, this is the most it can be. Of the politician who received 11,000 votes and the teacher, one was from Coalinga, the other was Gilda Gray. So Coalinga, Gilda Gray. There it is. Okay, 11,000 votes couldn't be, let's see. 11,000 votes can't be Coalinga. Therefore, it must be Gilda Gray. And Coalinga must be the teacher. Simple. 11,000 votes is Gilda Gray. That adds her to the list. So she can't be the lawyer, or from Indian Wells, or Olema. And Coalinga is the teacher. Also, Coalinga is 500 votes ahead of Glendale, so there. Okay. Kate Carlson was either the rancher or the Indian Wells native. So the rancher can't be Indian Wells. Well, the rancher. So Kate Carlson is either the rancher or the academic. Yes. Kate Carlson, rancher or academic. Okay, that means the Indian Wells is the academic. Okay. All right. That was a very good first round through the clues. Francis. And then under 10,000 votes, we have Unionville. And then Gilda Gray. Okay. Okay, Jed Jarvis finished 1,500 votes ahead of Kelly Kirby, who wasn't a writer or an architect. Okay, 1,500 votes. That's good. Good. Now. Okay. So, because Jed Jarvis is 1,500 votes ahead of Kelly Kirby, 10,000 can only be Jed Jarvis or Kelly Kirby, for the same reason as the Al Allen, Olema thing. So Kelly Kirby could be here, and Jed Jarvis could be here, could be 10,000, or Kelly Kirby could be 10,000 and Jed Jarvis could be here, but the only other option would be that Kelly Kirby is here and Jed Jarvis is there, in which case they wouldn't be 1,500 apart. So we eliminated all that. Coalinga is 500 ahead of Glendale. Indian Wells received fewer votes than Mountain Mesa. Okay, as long as Indian Wells is can still be the least, and Mountain Mesa can still be the most. There's not much we can do with that, but soon it will be. Olema finished 1,000 votes behind Al Allen. Okay, so Gilda Gray can't be the rancher. Let's see, it can only be, actually Gilda Gray now can only be architect or doctor. Good for her. Can't be Unionville either. Okay, Fred Francis, Ed Ewing, lawyer, Coalinga, Indian Wells. Okay, the teacher. Okay, so the teacher can't be. The teacher was something, right? Yeah. Oh, I forgot to mark this down. Then we have, and the person received 1,100 votes. That's Gilda Gray. Okay. The academic received more votes than the writer. Okay, and Kate Carlson was either the rancher or the Indian Wells, who is the academic. Let's see. Okay, let's see. The first one can't be either of those two things. Or the second one. Oh, the teacher can't be Kate Carlson. Therefore, Coalinga. Wait. Olema can't be Al Allen, right? Olema is behind Al Allen. Cleaning up the board a bit. Oh, I just scratched out for academic, but I was looking at architect. You know, they didn't have to put those so close together. I guess it's alphabetical. Wait. So who can't be the architect? No, who can't? Okay. Yeah, that's no good. Why couldn't Kate Carlson be the architect? Because she has to either be the rancher or the academic, so that goes back. And then Fred Francis could be the architect. Jed Jarvis. Okay. So the academic is what I was looking at. So that can't be Kate Kirby, Jed Jarvis, Fred Francis. It could be anyone else. Okay. Start from the top, I think. Yes. Okay, 10,000 votes was Unionville. And that's either Jed Jarvis or Kelly Kirby. Let's see. And Coalinga is 500 votes ahead of Glendale. So it looks like Glendale is either Fred Francis or Gilda Gray. That's great. Narrow that down a lot. Indian Wells is fewer than Mountain Mesa, which isn't the architect. Oh, wait, Gilda Gray. Right now I have her down. She can only be the architect or the doctor. And Gilda Gray. Okay, Gilda Gray wasn't the rancher. Why couldn't Gilda Gray be the architect? Because I have her X'd out here. I could have just, this could just be left over from the mistake before, where I crossed out architect when I meant to cross out academic. That would have been nice, though. Okay, Gilda Gray's not the rancher. Kate Carlson is either rancher or Indian Wells. Glendale can't be the lawyer. Or the rancher. Did that backwards. Okay, so what's the one that, okay, so 9,500 has to either be Olema or Al Allen, correct? Great. So anyone that, so could Kate Carlson be Olema? Yes, so. Well, let's see. Anywhere else? Let's see. Olema. The architect can't be Olema. Or what could it? Or why not? I don't know why I have that crossed out. I did it again, didn't I? Mistaked architect and academic. like to write out some relationships, but they all kind of have different increments. So this one's 500, this one's 1,000. So it's not that helpful, unless they were about the same thing. Okay. Al Allen received fewer votes than the rancher. The rancher could still be the first, so that doesn't really help us. Well, Lemma can't be the rancher. Oh, I got it. Okay, so we just determined that Olemma can't be the rancher just because it doesn't line up. Olemma can only be here or here. That can't be the rancher. Now, we determined that 9,500 must either be Olemma or Al Allen. So Kate Carlson could stay as 9,500 as long as it's possible that she could have been Olemma. But she has to either be the rancher or the Indian Wells. Obviously, if she's from Indian Wells, she's not from Olemma. And if she's the rancher, then she can't be from Olemma, because we double check my work about the rancher, because the rancher has to be more than Al Allen. Yeah, because the rancher has to be more than Al Allen, and Al Allen is more than Olemma. Great. So that means that 9,500 has to be Al Allen because Kate Carlson can't be Olemma, so she can't be. 9,500 has to either be Al Allen or anyone who could be from Olemma, and Kate Carlson has to be from Indian Wells or the rancher who can't be from Olemma. Therefore, 9,500 is Al Allen, and Olemma is 1,000 points behind that, and the rancher has to be more than that. Follow. Very good. Great. Lovely. That's Olemma and Al Allen. Good. So now Olemma, now 8,500 is found from the list, so Lawyer can't be here, and Ed Ewing can't be there. So it can only be Kelly Kirby, who's 1,500 less than Jed Jarvis. So we found both of them. Poor Kelly Kirby. She lost hard. Gilda Gray. Lovely. Emma. Good. So, Kirby Kelly, not an architect or a writer. That means she must be doctor. Wow, the doctor lost. Doctor from Olema. Very good. We got our first full set. And that means that Gilda Gray has to be the architect because she could only be architect or doctor. All right. And that means Fred Francis is our writer. That's all that's left for him. Can't even keep up with all my X's. Right. Nope, not yet. All right. Jed Jarvis is from Unionville. Good. Lawyer or rancher, it looks like. Okay. Now, what did we know about the architect? The architect is not from Mountain Mesa. So it's either Glendale or Evansdale. Okay. Good. Okay. I think we're caught up. All right. Let's see. All right. Okay, the 7 candidates. So we have Fred Francis. We don't have the lawyer. Coalinga is, no, just has to be above Glendale. So we don't have that one yet. But we have Olema. That's Kelly Kirby. We have the 11,000 votes. That's Gilda Gray. And we don't have Indian Wells yet. Or do we? Well, we know it's the academic. Okay. So what's left is Indian Wells, Ed Ewing, and Coalinga. Well, also the lawyer. How do we find so many? Hmm. 1100, Fred Francis. Okay, we only found 4. Olema. So Jed Jarvis is not Fred Francis or Ed Ewing, and he's from Unionville, so not Coalinga, Indian Wells, or Olema, and he did not get 11,000 votes. Therefore, the only thing left for him to be is the lawyer. So we have our lawyer, and from Unionville. And he's found. I'll check him off. That means Coalinga has to be Al Allen. Is that possible? Yeah. And that means he's the teacher. Confirmed right here. All right, now we have our Indian Wells, has to be here. 1050, that's fine. But it can't be Ed Ewing. Yes, so it must be Kate Carlson. And that means Ed Ewing is our winner with 11,500 votes. And he is the rancher. That wasn't one of the, nope. And he is, well, let's see. The rancher can't be Indian, no. The rancher can't be, we'll figure out what profession he is. The important thing is we found all the people. Okay. So we have Kelly Kirby, who is a doctor from Olema. Then we have Fred Francis, who's the writer. And he's from, oh, well, Coalinga is 500 votes ahead of Glendale. So he's from Glendale. Then we have Al Allen, who is the teacher from Coalinga. Then we have Jed Jarvis, who's the lawyer from Unionville. Then we have Kate Carlson. And let's see, she had to either be the rancher or the Indian Wells. Rancher was just taken by Ed Ewing, so that means she must be Indian Wells. And Indian Wells was the academic. So Kate Carlson is the academic from Indian Wells. Now we have Gilda Gray, the architect. And all that's left for her, when we clean up the board a smidge, is Evansdale. And then Ed Ewing is our winner with 11,500 votes. He is the rancher from Mountain Mesa. All right, let's check our work. Back of the book, puzzle number 40. Okay, we have Kelly, Fred, Al, Jed, Kate, Gilda, Ed. Wait, Fred, Jed, Ed. The important thing is that's good. Doctor, writer, teacher, lawyer, academic, architect, rancher, good. Olema, Glendale, Coalinga, Unionville, Indian Wells, Evansdale, and Mountain Mesa. We got it. All right, now I'm just going to clean up the board so I can put this puzzle to rest, and I'll use this downtime to thank you all so much for watching. And voila! Thank you for watching.